Throughout NBA history, there have been certain players who broke the mold. Tiny Archibald and Muggsy Bogues proving that little guys could do big things. Oscar Robertson, a guard with the size of a forward. And Magic Johnson, a guard who even played center in the NBA Finals. Then there was Bob McAdoo, a center unlike any the game had ever seen before. And McAdoo is a center of attention this week on Vintage NBA.
Yes, basketball has changed. It's always been a great game, but now it has a new spirit.
Hello again, everyone, and welcome to Vintage NBA. I'm Robin Roberts. This week, hope you're hungry. It's a Big Mac attack as we profile Hall of Famer Bob McAdoo. In the mid-'70s, he topped the NBA scoring charts while revolutionizing the center position. And he put the Buffalo Braves on the basketball map, leading them into the playoffs. Back then, the Braves were making a lot of fans in Buffalo, including one youngster who grew up to become an NBA star in his own right. He's the Phoenix Suns' Clifford Robinson. And this week, he's in the chair, talking about one of his childhood heroes, Bob McAdoo.
Growing up in Buffalo, what I remember about Bob McAdoo is his ability to score the basketball.
McAdoo puts it up. Look at that.
It looked like he was shooting with two hands. It was kind of a funny-looking shot.
McAdoo. And McAdoo can do. He is having a heck of a first quarter.
It was almost like Jamal Wilkes, but it was just like a two-hand J, and it was money.
That's the kind of shot that Bob McAdoo wants, and you get him that shot, he's going to bury it.
McAdoo can do.
From the Memorial Auditorium in Buffalo, New York, it's Game 3 of the Eastern Conference semifinal between the Buffalo Braves and the Boston Celtics.
I remember going to the Aud to watch a few games. It felt good, the fact that Buffalo was even a part of professional sport.
And the NBA's scoring leader for the third straight year, number 11, Bob McAdoo.
Going to see Bob McAdoo play against Philadelphia was one of the games that I would always try to get my mother to take me to.
Unbelievable performance by McAdoo.
They always managed to do well, make the playoffs, and lose to Boston. Bob was voted as the NBA's Rookie of the Year for 1972-73, scoring 39, 39, and 45 points his final 3 games of the season. You couldn't just tell him, okay, Bob, you're going to post up tonight, or you're just going to shoot outside shots. He was a scorer. I mean, you look at players today, you have to look at players like Bob, who started that.
Robinson's going to take the ball to the hoop and get it. Robinson is third 3 and a quarter. Oh, my goodness. Clifford Robinson can feel it.
I couldn't imagine, playing back then at my side, having to do one specific duty, just being a rebounder or just being a post-up player.
Person blocked by Robinson, who runs the court.
If he hadn't changed the style of game for big guys, who knows? Oh, wow. Bob received a $500 check for being NBA's Rookie of the Year. Wow. Back then, I'm sure he thought it was a lot of money. When I look at this Braves uniform, I think of the commercial that used to come on. They used to come on TV all the time. Buffalo, home of the Braves. I definitely like the uniforms. The uniforms were nice. Nothing compares to the baby blues of the Buffalo Braves. And the fact that they had the Buffalo Braves on them. The Braves might not have been the Celtics, but they were part of Buffalo, and they were our team.
Now, here are your Buffalo Braves.
One forward, number 30, out of Connecticut, Clifford Robinson.
Could I imagine going back to the Braves in Buffalo? That would, it would be nice, but, you know, at the same time, I gave up on that thought a long time ago.
Clifford's dream of playing for his hometown team ended at the age of 12. That was the year the Braves moved out of Buffalo and headed west to become the San Diego Clippers. But Robinson remains loyal to Buffalo. He is still a huge fan of the Buffalo Bills. As for Bob McAdoo, he also did his share of moving. We'll look back at his basketball journey when we return. Stay with us.
McAdoo, he's been a one-man offensive show.
He was a go-to guy that knew he could score and wanted the ball at all times and in tough situations.
Look at Silas working on McAdoo, and now three men converge on him. Collins on the outside.
My first memory of Bob was when he was with the Buffalo team, and his thing was no one to stop him. He was a big man that had a guard's game.
McAdoo, the human scoring machine. McAdoo can do.
Setting the goals and the records that he did as far as scoring, he was a legend.
As a teenager, Bob McAdoo attended a camp run by Jerry West, who told him, "You have one of the ugliest shots I've ever seen, but don't change it because it works." Well, Bob never did, and that high-arcing jumper helped make him a dominating offensive force. He won 3 consecutive NBA scoring titles in the mid-'70s and was named League MVP in 1975. Now, with his wide range of skills, Bob was one of the league's most unconventional weapons.
Outside to McAdoo. Look at that. Oh, man!
They don't have anybody that can play the man. There's nobody out there that can stop him at all.
Bob McAdoo had the full package as far as an offensive weapon was concerned that I don't think has ever been equaled in the game.
I'll tell you what, Bob McAdoo was unstoppable. He was 6'9", but he had arms that made him over 7'3".
There's a drive by McAdoo, double team. He is unstoppable.
He used to say, I was Magic Johnson before Magic Johnson.
McAdoo, maybe the finest big outside shooting man in the NBA.
He's a scoring machine. There's nothing you can do with the man. He comes at you from all angles.
Bob McAdoo played college ball at the University of North Carolina, and though his stay was short, he left a lasting impression.
We only had him 1 year at Carolina, and he led us to the Final Four. He was special, just a special, talented basketball player. He was probably the best offensive big man I ever played with.
The center, number 11, Bob McAdoo.
The Buffalo Braves made McAdoo the 2nd overall pick in the '72 draft. As a big man with agility and shooting range, he would quickly redefine the center position.
It was a faster game, and we created so many problems for the opposing team's centers.
McAdoo. Give him a little opening, and he will absolutely burn you.
It was a big dilemma. People would start putting their power forwards on me and putting their centers on our power forward. So the center was like left out there. He couldn't guard anybody anymore.
McAdoo puts it up. Oh, it's unbelievable what that guy can do with that round ball.
He's hot. He's burning up now.
That Buffalo team had firepower. Mac was the leading cannoneer.
McAdoo, he's been a one-man offensive show.
He was a go-to guy that knew he could score and wanted the ball at all times and in tough situations.
Look at Silas working on McAdoo, and now three men converge on him. Collins on the outside.
We used to do everything in our power to stop this guy, and there was no way you could do it.
McAdoo was not only becoming one of the NBA's premier centers, he was also becoming a cult hero in the city of Buffalo.
Who's gonna dribble that ball down the court? McAdoo, McAdoo, McAdoo. Who's gonna make that layup and score? McAdoo, McAdoo, McAdoo.
Has it changed your life when you like go into a restaurant and people really know who you are now?
Oh, yeah. You know, I go in a restaurant now and I can't even eat, you know, because people ask me for autographs, you know, while I'm eating, or, you know, if I go in the grocery store or camera shop, you know, people are asking for my autograph, but, you know, I don't mind.
Despite his popularity, things began to turn sour in Buffalo. McAdoo was traded to New York in 1976. He continued his high scoring, but could not lead the Knicks back to the championship. And 2 years later, he was traded yet again, this time to Boston. There would be other stops as well, as McAdoo played for 7 different teams in his career. But just when it seemed he had become a journeyman, he found a home and a new role in Los Angeles.
When we signed Bob McAdoo as a free agent, it was the most pivotal move that we made in my career in Los Angeles. That really propelled us to a real dynasty-type team.
Igniting the Lakers with his offense off the bench, McAdoo helped L.A. capture 2 NBA titles.
I'd been on some bad teams right before then, and to have a chance to play on a great team with a shot at winning a championship after you've done everything in your career individually, that's what made me pumped.
And if you're looking for another offensive threat, Bob McAdoo, the Lakers' prime scorer off the bench, could be it.
I remember one year, Clyde Drexler came up to me. He was a young player at the time. He asked me, why didn't I ever smile? And I told him, because I'm concentrating on the game. I'm not the smiling type of player because I'm so focused in the game. But after that last tick of the clock against the Philadelphia 76ers, I had one of the widest smiles that I've ever had in my life on my face.
3, 2, 1. The Lakers are the world champions.
I remember when he won that first championship, he cried like a baby.
Magic, congratulations. Tell me what Bob McAdoo has meant to this team.
I tell you, an offensive weapon coming off the bench. A big man who can do it all, run the court, block shots.
I've finally done everything a basketball player can possibly do. That was probably one of the greatest thrills of my life, winning an NBA championship, being a part of an NBA championship team.
During his years in L.A., McAdoo formed a bond with Coach Pat Riley, and they renewed their partnership a decade later in Miami. When Pat took over as coach of the Heat in 1995, one of his first moves was hiring McAdoo as an assistant coach, and Bob's been there ever since. While McAdoo and the Braves both started off in Buffalo, neither ended up staying there. More about that in a moment. First, we head back to the year of Bob's first scoring title, 1974. Time now to shuffle off to Buffalo, the place where Bob McAdoo became a star. Let's see as we surf the net, and we can see that Buffalo is located on the eastern tip of Lake Erie, and with a population of about 1 million, it's the second largest city in the state of New York. And there have been a number of famous Buffalonians, including 2 former presidents. Millard Fillmore was a congressman from Buffalo, a member of the Whig Party, as I'm sure you recall. He became vice president, then president when Zachary Taylor died in 1850, but he served just 2 years, losing his bid for a second term. Grover Cleveland began his political career as mayor of Buffalo. He became America's 22nd president in one of the closest elections ever. After all the dimpled chads were counted, Cleveland came back in 1892, captured the White House a second time. William McKinley was the 25th president. He was from Ohio, but unfortunately Buffalo turned out to be his final stop. In September of 1901, he was assassinated during a public reception in the city, shortly after beginning his second term. Now, speaking of politics, Tim Russert was born and raised in Buffalo, one of the country's premier political analysts. He's the Washington bureau chief for NBC News and the moderator of Meet the Press. Plus, didn't you love his board that he used during the election? A different kind of TV personality, Buffalo Bob Smith. He had his own kids show in the 40s and 50s, endearing himself to children with his lovable sidekick, the puppet Howdy Doody, leading to the famous catchphrase, "It's Howdy Doody time." As coach of the Buffalo Bills, Marv Levy turned them into one of the best teams in football. He won 4 consecutive AFC titles in the early 90s, but could never take that final step as the Bills also lost 4 straight Super Bowls. And as every Odd Couple trivia buff knows, Felix Unger's brother Floyd was a proud native of Buffalo. You just can't make this stuff up, folks. Buffalo has the Bills, the Sabres, not to mention Buffalo Wings. It also had the Braves at least until 1978 when they packed up and moved to San Diego. But they weren't the only NBA team to change cities. For more on that, here's correspondent Chris Schenkel.
In 1959-60, there were 8 teams, with St. Louis the farthest west, and the Lakers still in Minneapolis. The move west introduced the Lakers to Los Angeles, and the Warriors to San Francisco, the Rockets to San Diego, and the Supersonics to Seattle. Under Commissioner Walter Kennedy, the NBA has gone from 9 teams to the present lineup of 14 major cities, shifting St. Louis to Atlanta, adding Phoenix and Milwaukee, and also more opportunities.
Well, since Chris filed that report about 30 years ago, there have been a few updates. The NBA has now gone from 14 to 29 teams, and, how about that map? Not quite as high-tech as those election night maps, but not as confusing either. And it did show that Florida is still too close to call. All right, anyway, the Buffalo Braves are now the LA Clippers, but the change in weather hasn't changed their fortunes. They haven't reached the second round of the playoffs since their days in Buffalo. And we'll look back at a vintage playoff game from Bob McAdoo and the Braves when we return. It was 1970 when the Buffalo Braves entered the NBA as one of 3 expansion teams. They struggled at first, but quickly turned things around when Bob McAdoo arrived. The league's top scorer, he led Buffalo to the Eastern Conference semifinals in 1975. Now, they fell behind the Washington Bullets 2-1, and we will relive Game 4 in this week's Airwave Archive. Here's Brent Musburger and the Big O, Oscar Robertson.
Now, even though Wesley Unseld will start at center, it is Elvin Hayes who will be out there to jump it off against Bob McAdoo. Richie Powers has come into the middle of your screen. He has the basketball. He'll toss it up. We're underway. It is Reardon who has controlled the tip.
Blocked by McMillan already. And right away, Reardon goes right to McAdoo.
That's the first matchup. Garfield Hurd holds the ball for Buffalo at the free throw line.
Also, in a situation like that, when McAdoo set that pick, Reardon was right there to switch off. He's a natural forward anyway.
Hayes comes back to Reardon, outside of the key area. Now they bring it back on the left to Porter. Inside, turnaround, Elvin Hayes, McMillan rebound.
Here come the Braves.
Garfield Hurd loses control. Ball comes back to Washington.
You know, the last ball game, Randy Smith got into foul trouble early and spent a lot of time on the bench. I think it really hurt them.
Kevin Porter, who handles it for Washington, looking down the sideline. Baseline left, forced back out by Randy Smith. Smith has a height advantage in that match that you're watching right there. Kevin Porter now deals off to Reardon over on the right, and they come back to the little man. And that 24-second shot clock winds down. Shot is missed. Smith with the rebound. A gimme.
Well, Reardon didn't get back that too fast that time, but Nick back really took off and got down there.
Porter tries to settle the team down. Conley works it to Wesley Unseld. Knocked out of bounds by Garfield Hurd. You notice that on Hurd's right leg, he's wearing that bandage.
Well, they're really playing good defense so far. They're really jumping out there, switching real strong when they have to. That's what you have to do when you're down 2-1.
Richie Powers backs Ken Charles off. Now it is Reardon on the right side who comes back out. McAdoo chases him. They come to the Big E. Turn around.
And there you go.
Bullets are on the board. Kenny Charles, the only player in the NBA from Fordham right now, flings it up, right baseline. Comes back outside to Jimmy McMillan.
Now, talking to Coach Ramsey before the game, he felt that Jimmy has to play himself back into condition. He was out for a long time, but he said he's got to keep him in because he's a fantastic basketball player.
Porter 5'11", gives off to Chenier 6'3". Randy Smith. Off into the corner, McMillan. Misses this time, and Garfield Hurd battling, but Chenier controls. Here's Porter back. Smith is on him, not there. Rebound by McMillan. Buffalo more aggressive off the top. Charles back. Got away from Smith. Picked up by Hurd. Ball is bouncing right for Buffalo.
And the Braves are really pushing the ball to court right now. This is what they have to do.
Porter on the far right side. Bumps into Smith. Comes back. Reardon now swings to the left side. Elvin Hayes spot. Won't fall. Taken away by Garfield Hurd. Swift, clean action. Down goes Reardon. No whistle. McAdoo loses control. Loose ball. Still no whistle. Battle for it. Ball will through his face.
What an action that was.
Porter slows it down. Comes over to the other side to Chenier. Not there. McAdoo with an easy rebound. Off by Porter. Porter on the turnaround. I should say Smith with Porter on it. Wesley Unseld's first rebound. Porter's ahead of him. Good. He's got the basket and he was fouled.
So far.
Right now, it is Buffalo. They have hit 4 of their first 5 shots. Kevin Porter comes to the free throw line. It is the three-point play, making it 8-7. Buffalo leads by a single point, and here's the speed. Randy Smith bringing it down. Porter watching him at that end. They come out to McMillan, who goes inside, but there is a whistle. Offense, says Bob Lega.
McAdoo. Here, Reardon, though, it plays right in the position right here. There's the push-off right there. Watch the Big E was on his way in if it didn't happen.
Jack Ramsey had a few words for Lakel. There's Wesley Unseld. McAdoo on him. They go to Kevin Porter. Smith gives him some daylight. They won't shoot out there with Porter if they can avoid it. Cross-court pass to Reardon. Reardon comes over here to Porter. Unseld, three underneath.
Little Kevin Porter.
The assist champion in the NBA. A splendid pass to center Wesley Unseld. Smith back on the attack. Garfield Hurd came through the key, took the pass, and again we've got a whistle. Jack Ramsey waiting to see what this call is going to be, but it's in favor of Buffalo this time.
And we have some aggressive action so far.
That was against Reardon, his first of the game. Charles hands the ball back to Smith, who comes over to the left side. That is McMillan out there. Reardon comes back outside with his man.
Reardon really gets the hand.
McAdoo. Reardon on him. McAdoo. Down comes Elvin Hayes. Great outlet pass, and look at Reardon come back. Knocked away.
Great shot blocked by Bob McAdoo. What an effort that was.
Now it's handed back to Charles from McMillan. Charles maneuvering against Porter. Here's Garfield Hurd. Now McMillan is all alone. Kevin Porter takes the pass from Chenier and brings it up for the Bullets. Richie Powers trailing him.
We talked a lot about matchups. We haven't talked about Smith and little Kevin Porter yet.
Wesley Unseld trying to go in.
I'm sure he surprised him then because he doesn't usually drive that much.
Not normally an offensive threat. A tremendous rebounder for Washington. He started to turn it loose. Here's McMillan. McAdoo, there's the Reardon matchup with his right hand at McAdoo's waist. Pass inside. But it's goaltending.
So that was goaltending. Here it hit the board right here and watch Big E take it away. Goaltending.
Porter back across the timeline. Randy Smith. He's giving him the middle, but Kevin's not turning that way. Now he passes back outside. Here's Reardon. He's handled the ball a lot. Chenier plays catch with Reardon. Elvin wants it. He wants to do the turnaround on Hurd. Snapped back down by Garfield Hurd to Charles. Randy Smith in the middle. Loses control against Porter, but it's regained by Buffalo.
See that move then? Hey, wow! What a move he put on Undo that time.
McAdoo was just unstoppable that season. He averaged 34 points, 14 rebounds, and 4 assists on his way to the MVP award, which he received during halftime of this game. His coach back then, Dr. Jack Ramsey, called him one of the most complete players the game has ever known. We'll get back to the 75 playoffs with the teams formerly known as the Braves and the Bullets right after this timeout for trivia. Now another pop quiz. Who was the top pick in the 72 draft? Now Bob McAdoo was available, but Portland selected center LaRue Martin. Don't worry, we won't be featuring him on Vintage NBA anytime soon. He had a short and uneventful NBA career. Buffalo choosing second took Big Mac, and we're glad they did as he made them a playoff team. Now, as we return to 1975, they're trying to even their series against Washington. So let's pick it up in the third quarter.
The last huddle, the microphone was turned on over there, and I think Casey Jones told Porter to go on and play his game. If he can drive in there, go ahead.
Underneath, Unseld pulls down a missed shot. Kevin Porter handles the basketball all game long with a pass to Reardon, who hits it.
That was a good play that time. Reardon went to his spot, got it right in.
Coming back. McAdoo underneath, and Rako said he was fouled. Let's give him a couple of free throws in that situation. Oh, it's on Elvin Hayes, and that's 4 fouls on the Big E. Something to watch. So he was not fouled in the act of shooting either. They're not in a penalty situation, so they take it out of bounds, and McAdoo says, let me have it.
And he puts it right in.
He'll get him one way.
He knows what to do with that ball when he gets his hands on it.
9 minutes in the third quarter. Unseld high over his head. McAdoo with him. Chenier couldn't get through the heavy traffic. Reardon goes to his spot. Up there, and McAdoo starts to pick up some rebounds.
Yes, he does.
Here's Jimmy Mack again. Unseld has him. Randy Smith, Ramsey down on one knee. McMillan underneath, missed it, got his own rebound. Not there, and hurt.
Well, I'll tell you. I think that 4th foul is really hurting Elvin Hayes right now because, you know, Garfield Hurd was right there. McMillan missed a shot, he got a rebound and missed, and Hurd tipped it in.
Almost picked off by Charles. Chenier comes back with a jumper off of Hurd's hands.
Yeah, I think it is hurting Elvin Hayes because that time he didn't even try to get that rebound. He tried to just play position and knocked out of bounds by Garfield Hurd.
Inbounds pass goes to Reardon. Back outside. Oh, Porter says, let's try the other side of the floor. He's back to Chenier. Away by Hurd. Saved by Charles, who got it.
Yeah, right now, you know, Hurd, he's there. He's trying to get out front in front of Elvin Hayes. Shuffle a little bit. He did a good job. Great job.
Here's Smith.
Good split that time by Reardon.
Garfield Hurd had a block by Elvin Hayes. Porter with a beautiful pass.
Look, you see that little guy get that ball out there. Hey, he's some kind of basketball player. And who said the little man can't play in his league?
Good peripheral vision, and Porter swung over to that side. Here's Charles. He's back to Randy Smith. Shot clock winds down. There's Jimmy Mack.
Oh, he was falling down. He put it in and fell right in.
What's a 5-point bullet lead? Here's Chenier. Now Reardon trying to set up the play. He wants to pick, and he goes the other way.
Doesn't get it in.
Down comes Charles. Buffalo getting to that basket. Elvin Hayes waits for the little man who was going to set it up.
I think Uncle just threw his chewing gum over here.
Hold on. Porter fouled him when he came back. What a talent.
Big Mac.
There's Ernie DiGregorio. Hey, Ernie, stick with us. Don't fall asleep now. What a time to cut to a picture of him. All right, Jimmy Jones is back. Buffalo is too. Shot by Hayes, not there. Unseld battling underneath.
And the foul is on McAdoo.
It's on Mack.
Yes, it is.
That's 3 against Big Mac.
You know, so far, the teams have done very well on the offensive boards tonight. Hurd got a few. McMillan got a few. This West has been a tower strength under there.
See that bandage on Unseld's left knee. He had the fluid drained from that knee after the last game of the regular season. Only time this year. Underwent surgery last year. Randy Smith brings it back. It's 62 to 59. 6:26. Brown picks up the tempo. Oh, bounces Goes away, and Unseld's got it. Here comes Chenier. All the way.
Great play that time by Chenier. But that was made possible because those wing guys got out there and they stayed kind of wide. Chenier got right down the middle for 2 points.
Smith passes back to Jimmy Mack.
Yes.
I think Ramsey wanted Jimmy Mack to take a few more shots, and he's doing that.
Yes, he is in this game. He said his timing wasn't quite like it should be. Maybe he'll get it back in these playoffs.
There's a different view of the Washington attack. Chenier. Not there. Nope. Out comes Smith in the middle.
He just no fast break this time.
Garfield Hurd. Pulled away by Unseld. What a force he is underneath that hoop. That's 19 rebounds for him.
Well, that was a smart play that time with Witherspoon. He was back by himself, had one man on him. Decided not to take it in, so they're going to set it up.
Jimmy Jones. Good percentage shooter, but I don't think that one was too good.
Oh, look at that young Witherspoon battle for those rebounds. He'll get 2 shots out of this from the line. 14. It looks to me right now, Brent, that Washington is trying to force that ball into Elvin Hayes a little too much. They should move it around, wait till the situation develops.
Witherspoon comes out of a bit of a squat formation here with his free throws. Now, talking about rebounds, McAdoo's picked off 6 so far in this quarter. Make it 7. How many points do the Buffalo Guards have so far? Oh, they can't have too many.
Now, they only got 6 so far.
How about Randy Smith? Just 1 field goal?
Yeah, that's it.
Hard to believe. Jimmy Mack. Hey, Mack is starting to shoot like a guard out there.
Yes, he's a fine shooter anyway, and I guess he's starting to warm up a little bit. The shooter makes Coach Ramsey very happy.
Chenier.
There's Witherspoon again.
Garfield Hurd, outlet pass. Charles regains control. Randy Smith with a good fake. McAdoo, 8 rebounds this quarter.
Oh! And that shot put Buffalo ahead. You can see it again right here. Smith takes the shot. McAdoo rebound. He got hit right there, but he still knocked it in. What a basketball player he is.
That day, McAdoo was wearing out the Bullets and their center, Wes Unseld. But centers all over the league had a tough time against Big Mac. And one man who watched him up close was Rudy Tomjanovich. The current head coach of the Rockets was a forward for Houston back in the 70s.
When McAdoo came in, he was a versatile inside-outside guy. And he played some forward, but he was really tough if you matched up or when you had to match up with a center, because he had this great 18-foot shot, and he'll just nail those.
Many times, instead of me guarding him, we would put John Havlicek on him because we knew that he was going to, be running off picks, and I would guard the 4 guy. So you had to make some adjustments with him at times.
Bob McAdoo didn't play like your typical center, and that was no accident. He said he grew up idolizing guards like Earl the Pearl Monroe, trying to copy their quickness, shooting, and ball handling. Now, with those skills and a 6'9" body, McAdoo gave opponents fits, just like he's doing in Game 4 of the '75 playoffs. He's helped Buffalo take command in the 4th quarter as we return to the home of the Braves.
Oh, look at that Brave Warrior up there. He senses a victory in Buffalo.
Kevin Porter is trying to shove his way out of that mess back there, too.
Here's Kevin. That's our situation with 4 minutes to go for the game. Porter cut off by McAdoo, and it's Rich from the left corner. Pull it down, and Randy Smith puts it right back at him.
Yes, he does. They're going to set it up now. This is smart basketball. He's out of the league. 3:45, 44.
McAdoo slips trying to get around Unseld. Charles loses it off his tennis shoe.
They're in a bonus. We got a 1-and-1 this time. You know, McAdoo has 45 points, and I think that's his playoff high so far. Still have 3 minutes and 38 seconds to go. He's going to get more than that. Charles missed the first free throw.
There's a third period score. Chicago and KC battling. The Bulls lead that series 2-1. Here's Porter. 97-88. Spoon. Unseld has it knocked away. But Washington's got it. Another block.
Yeah. A lot of times when teams overpass in situations like this, they're down, they're trying to make the best pass. He should have shot that ball. Lou Porter's really bumping Smith out there. Look at that.
He gets it off to Jimmy Mack. But there was a whistle.
They get it this time.
Four fouls on Kevin Porter. Reardon drops back. Jimmy Mack picked him up, and he's going to go with him. Smith is at the line.
Yeah, it's tough in situations like this. You got a good team who handles the ball well. Randy Smith is a very good ball handling guard. You got to do something to get the ball away from him. What can you do? Get the foul.
Well, Phil Chenier is back on the floor. He'll try it again. His team trails by 11. 3:06 for the game.
Yep, time is running out for Washington.
Jones. Trying to go back to Unseld. It was hit by Randy Smith and out of bounds. Kozelko comes in.
I think Coach Casey Jones wants to rest the guys now for the Sunday game. But there's still a little time left. Well, they throw it away again.
So Buffalo on the verge of tying this series.
Yes, they are.
Bird tries to go inside of McAdoo.
Yes, it gets there. You know, the reason that play was successful because the defensive guard never put his hands up to guard anybody when the guy made the pass.
Whistle is blown with 2:28 left for the game. Speaking of that game down in Landover, some of the Washington Bullets officials told me they've got tickets still available. McAdoo.
Hey, that makes 49 points for McAdoo.
Reardon.
He's got some kind of range. I think the fans miss McAdoo's close to 50 points.
McMillan has had a good ball game.
Yes, he has.
This is the shot. The whistle. Backcourt against Charles. That's it for Charles.
Yeah, he's played a good game. You know, he didn't score that many points. Played a very good floor game. And they sure needed that today. Tonight, I should say.
Well, the thing that Buffalo did not do down in Landover was get the ball to the hoop. Charles was able to do that. Helped open up the way for Bob McAdoo to take some shots. But it's guys like Charles and McMillan, they make the Bob McAdoos in this league. They create things. Shooters sometimes get too much of the glory. I don't want to take anything away from Bob McAdoo. He's unbelievable.
You really can't in a game like this, but that guy's really been super.
There's Randy Smith. That's goodbye, Bullets.
Yes, it is.
I don't know. If I was these fans, I'd let sleeping dogs lie. I'll tell you what, Elvin Hayes not going to foul out on you every game. There's Spoon. Out of bounds by Bobby Weiss.
Yes, it was. I guess that foul's on Gar Hurd.
So whatever it was, was that Jack Ramsey told his basketball team yesterday during that 35-minute meeting. It certainly worked. They came here to play.
I noticed in the second half when the game got so, they really went out and pressured on the defense. So they did not do this in the first half. I guess it might have turned the tide for them.
Buffalo trailed Boston last year 2-1 before they evened up that series. It became a classic before Boston won it in 6 tough games. Intercepted by Haskins behind his back. Third. Spoon.
Yes, he gets it in. Well, 7 points down, 1 minute and 4 seconds to go. Oh!
Forced out over on that side. Not giving him any room over there, and this time Richie Bowers calls the foul. And we've got a technical call. And if I know that Washington bench, it might be Bickerstaff as easily as K.C. Jones.
You know, I think it's Bickerstaff myself.
At a score from Kansas City, the Kings lead the Bulls 72-70 at the end of the third.
Well, McAdoo right now, he's shooting again. 54. Hey, they love it. That's a half 100. And McAdoo gets a standing ovation, and he well deserves it.
Behind 50 points from McAdoo, Buffalo went on to tie the series, but they lost in 7 games to Washington, the eventual conference champs. Still, it appeared Bob and the Braves were a team on the rise, but it was just 1 year later that he found himself heading downstate to join the Knicks, the first of many moves in the coming years. Wherever he went, though, he took his patented jump shot with him. And up next, we'll look at some other big men who were big-time shooters. Bob McAdoo has been called the greatest shooting big man of all time. Though Bill Russell qualified that statement just a bit, he called Bob the greatest shooter of all time, period. In any event, McAdoo brought a new dimension to the game with his outside range, and there have been some other big men who displayed a soft touch like that. The Knicks' Willis Reed was strong and physical inside, but could also go outside and hit the 15-footer. And in Game 7 of the 1970 Finals, he limped onto the court and hit his first 2 outside shots to inspire the Knicks to victory. Seattle's Jack Sikma was a 7-time All-Star and one of the best big men of his era. He was known for his unorthodox jump shot, which he released from behind his head, making it nearly impossible to block. At 6'9", Dave Cowens was undersized for an NBA center, but his medium-range jumper was a key weapon that helped him battle bigger centers like Wilt and Kareem. Dave used it to help the Celtics win 2 NBA titles in the 70s. Bill Laimbeer played the villain role as one of Detroit's bad boys, but he also had a deadly outside shot. He was one of the few centers with 3-point range, and in 1990, he tied an NBA Finals record by hitting 6 trays in 1 game. Then, of course, there's the chief, Robert Parrish of the Celtics. His trademark was his rainbow jump shot, which he used to help Boston win 3 NBA titles. And these days, there are some others who are carrying on the tradition.
Kevin Garnett comes to mind immediately, but he's like, he takes it to a whole different stratosphere.
Kevin Garnett and Rasheed Wallace are big guys that really can shoot that you have to watch out going out for. So those guys, to me, it comes to mind that really can shoot.
I like LaFrance. Out there in Denver, he probably is the best big man shooter in the NBA.
I would have to say someone like Karl Malone. Karl Malone's a great shooting outside big guy.
Karl Malone
around and talk about a player that really perfected his jump shot. Now it's automatic.
Patrick Ewing become a great spot-up shooter. And, might be, I used to tell my team, the best shooter on the Knicks team was Patrick Ewing. My feeling was you just didn't leave him open.
I played with Big Smooth, and, man, he had a smooth shot, and he can step out and hit the three anytime. He can run all 3, 4, 5 in a row.
Perkins getting three-point room. The three's good. Sam Perkins, a deadly outside shooter.
And Big Smooth is still going strong, even at the tender age of 39. Now, if you'd like to weigh in on Bob McAdoo or anyone else like him, just log on to NBA.com and look us up in the history section. You'll also find a chat with McAdoo where he compares his Laker teams of the 80s with the Lakers of today. Them there fighting words. And we'll be back with more Vintage NBA right after this. 1986 was Bob McAdoo's final year in the NBA, but he still had plenty of basketball left in him. McAdoo took his jump shot to Italy and continued to light it up for 7 more seasons, averaging 26 a game. Finally, in 1993, Bob ended his brilliant playing career and went into coaching in Miami. And in the fall of 2000, McAdoo reached his ultimate destination as he was enshrined in the Basketball Hall of Fame. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Vintage NBA. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'm Robin Roberts. We'll look for you next time. Take care.
You were one of the great offensive stories in the history of the game, and it makes it even more of a privilege, by vote of the Honors Committee and by the power of the Board of Trustees, to induct you as a player to the Basketball Hall of Fame with all rights and privileges. Congratulations.